Let's go.
Here we are doing a bit of roving reporting at the press conference here at the Summer Rumble 6 press conference, and we've got Tinker Taylor.
Hello, Phil.
How are you getting on?
I'm doing well, mate. Thank you very much.
What's been happening at Jobs' gym?
Jobs' gym, right? It's been a bit of a quiet time, really. Sam took a little sabbatical. Sam Best, obviously.
Is he still on that sabbatical?
He's back to training, but just starting late. Excuse me, I'll get rid of this gum, He just had a young daughter, a young son. Sorry, Sam.
Well, that can
family
change.
Started.
You know, this is the modern society we live in. Let's be frank.
Right, I'm off. So Sam's took a bit of time out.
Yeah.
He's back in late training. Well earned. James is doing being great. James lost, nearly 5 stone? Aye. So I think James wasn't a natural heavyweight, was he? She struggled a bit at heavyweight, but he's in great shape now. He's actually got a bit of foot movement, and I'm looking forward to Summer Rumble to see how he does.
I suppose it's the different thing when you're taking a new style and that extra motion and movement into a fight. When you've had the previous fights, obviously you trained because everything has got to be automatic, and you
from scratch again.
You don't want to revert back to natural old habits, so it's making sure those the new ones are grooved well. And
well, they've got to become second nature again, haven't they? I mean, we brought Keith in. Keith's part of the coaching staff now. Keith McDONALD, come forward.
Here we go.
He's now part of the Job Gym coaching staff. Keith's
Which is a great addition.
Keith's done a lot of work with what's his name?
James.
That's right, James.
There we go. I was getting names wrong.
I didn't know it was Karen or what, you know.
He's not having the operation.
No, it's really good.
So Keith's been doing a lot of work with him, you know, a lot of defensive work and stuff like that. We've worked a lot on his feet because he wasn't a natural heavyweight. Let's not be honest. He didn't really have any foot movement and that. But we're happy with what we've done.
When you've got all that weight on you, it's going to limit your movement. So
well, I know all about that.
Yeah, why?
Well, let's move forward. But he's looking good. I'm really looking forward to his fight, and I think a couple of people might be surprised.
Well, keeping it under wraps.
Yeah.
Like I explained, you never want people to say too much. Complacency is a form of defeat sometimes.
Yeah.
So come out there and say he's going to put him away the first round. Oh, well and good, give the lad his go. But you see a different person. Well, not many other people are seeing apart from Tink, Marcel and Matty.
Yeah.
You know, we're seeing the difference. I wouldn't personally, it's a hard one for his first one.
It is.
It's a hard one for his first
Steve
one.
Cooper's a decent. He's more than a decent fighter. He's an improving fighter. I was saying in the interview with James before. It's like they both made adaptations. I know I spoke to Steve when the fight was first announced, and he was saying he's doing more on the back foot now rather than just being looking to load up. So the first round is going to be a little bit of a feeling out because neither guy's going to know for sure what's going to be coming at them.
Aye.
It's always good. It's always good thinking that. But I'm thinking, you know, James will not have possibly a big crowd, but he's always a big crowd puller. You know, and I think Cooper will come with a big crowd behind him. It's all right to adapt to a style. But when you've been used to coming forward with that aggressive style, it's hard to go the other way.
Yeah.
It's hard to go, but you can do it reverse order. You know, he's on that back foot, and he's never been a come forward sort of fighting, rocking and rolling lad like Cooper's been. So we just had to twist all these motions round. It's
when to stand your ground.
That's right. That crowd gets in amongst it, and he listens to that crowd, and I'm hoping that crowd sends him forward. If he comes out forward, great, that suits me fine. Well, it's not an easy one.
But at the same time, I was just going to say that. I mean, the reason we chose Steve, obviously, was seeing Steve at first hand with Sam in the past.
Yeah.
And he's a tough cookie. You know, we respect him, you know. But we wanted to give him a challenge. We didn't want to give him an easy fight. We could have easily went down that route, and that's why we took on Steve. And it's going to be a hard fight for him. We're not underestimating him whatsoever. And we've got respect for Steve.
Yeah.
But just let's see what happens.
I think with the local derby aspect of it as well, you'll know from previous, it gives a bit of spice, doesn't it? It does. It can bring more out of you, but it can also put more pressure on you. And sometimes, you know, that anxiety, having more things on your mind, and you know, you don't want to have it in the boxing ring. So having that previous experience, which obviously Steve's got as well, because he fought with Sam.
Yeah.
So but having that experience, it's like I say, when you're going in there and
Well, it's invaluable, isn't it?
you need to be as clear and focused as possible.
Yeah, you see, any muggy waters, And
Yeah, with us, it's,
Cooked on.
it's a hidden commodity with us. You know, we just know when I put them out everywhere, but it's a hidden commodity. So let's hope on the day they see that hidden commodity in the work that's been done. But I'll tell them straight. You've got this one, you've got to do well in this one, or you're going nowhere from there. You've got to do well at this one. We could have gotten a journeyman for him, a journeyman come to Lord. We could have done that, but we didn't want that. I wanted a hard one. I would say this one is the top end of the hard level.
Yeah.
I would have preferred somebody about middle of the range. But this one, he does that, then you'd be talking about area title fights.
Yeah.
You don't beat him, you're talking about area title fights. And we've all been involved with it that many years that you know what they're capable of. I would have just said, I'm not coaching if he's getting him, but I know he is capable of it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have agreed.
got involved.
What I like about these lads is working with them, we'll have a chat about everything on the phone all the time. What do you think about that? How do you think they're sparring? And we all think the same way. If somebody's making a wrong move or something, I say, what did you think with the sparring of being away to Manchester? I picked up on that, and we're all picking up the same things, and that's how I like working
It
with
helps
them.
when you pull in the same direction, doesn't it? It's
None of
Sing off the
this.
same sheet and what have you.
I think it's too many coaches over the years. They've been there and they don't want to learn anymore. I'll always pick up the phone and say, what do you think about this? And we're always on each other. These lads want to learn the same as I do more.
The wife gets sick, man. She goes, bring. It'll be that bloody Keith Allen again. You know what time it is?
She thinks we're having an affair.
She does, I'm sure, right?
Until he loses more weight. It's not
But you're going to need a boob job for a start. There's an ongoing theme of this little mini interview here, isn't
I know,
it?
you started this off.
So how have you found things? 'Cause obviously you were working up in Ashton, you were working
Yeah,
up?
working Marshall with Dixon and Elliot. Well, Elliot had a shoulder injury, so he's had to retire. Dixon, great. I don't know how anybody can retire 2 fights, 1-2 fights as a super heavyweight. That phone was ringing all the time for Dixon. I could have had him way down to Preston to spar for Mackenzie. Marvin Mackenzie, it was good money there. He could have went to Argentina to watch the world title fight if he'd done the sparring. And I'm saying, you're giving all this away. I just cannot understand, being a previous boxer, how anybody would give it away. But with James, he respects what he gets. Michael sort of didn't. But the good thing about it is he's telling everybody, I'm still boxing with Keith, I'm still boxing with Keith. I said, well, you box from this gym, these are the lads I'm with, not another gym. You box from this gym, you box under our rules, and that's it. But I think the good thing, seeing James, and realising and hearing that I've spent a lot of time.
When you look at the nick he's in.
And he keeps saying to other people when he's out and what have you, oh, Keith's spending time with that. You know, it's like a little kid, really.
Yeah,
I think the jealousy and the complacency and all, thinking, hey, you know, I says, you've given your career away. He's rebuilding his career and wanting to be there. I says, that's the difference. He's got the guts and the determination. That's what I like about somebody, to really dig deep instead of saying packing in. I says, he's dug deep, he's getting cracking again, and he's working for that. Now I says, you getting to that level where you've just, 2 is enough. I says, 2 is enough. You tell your kids I've had 2 professional fights.
Unbeaten.
Unbeaten. So I said, that means nothing to me. You can't go any further. When you can't go any further, then
you find your level, then you look back without regret, don't you?
I knew he could do it.
I
knew Dixon could do it, but he was a bit. He always had that mental thing that he didn't have the confidence within himself. Sometimes you go like with James with that fight, they were friends. Don't forget, you know. And I've had him at amateur level, championship level, where he's got out and he's been 100%.
Yeah.
But if I had him local and he had fans there, I was frightened to go to the change room. He was looking for us.
Yeah.
Big ginger heavyweight, hard as nails. Everybody frightened him in the area. And then I went up to the change room. Where's Keith? I had to come back and nearly sit with him. So everybody's different.
Obviously, he came through the last fight. He was taking quite a lot. I remember he was taking quite a lot of shots.
He wasn't there for it. He wasn't there on that fight. And when we got that fight, I knew that lad was a hard lad. He wasn't a journeyman. He came to win. He'd been in with all the best.
Yeah.
So I didn't want that. And I said to him, I don't really want that.
Yeah.
I would have preferred the other fight that we had arranged. But I said, go for that. And he was lucky to get through that fight, man. I don't mind admitting it. I had to push him that last round.
Toughness,
I said that last round, if you don't get out here, mate, I feel like throwing the towel in. And he got out there and he just pulled through. You know, and Baruccio was a hard lad. Since then, he's been in with some good lads.
Yeah.
So, you know, let's just hope he's back. But we've got to get James out of the way first.
Yeah.
Get his fight out of the way, then see what else we've got. We've a lot of lads up and coming through the gym.
You always learn, regardless of what you've picked up in the past. But also the fact that these relationships where people like James can get the varied sparring, all of the the high level sparring as well.
Stuff. That's right.
you know, as a trainer, you can get them in shape, you can get the technique right, but it's that, for me, it's that top quality sparring.
Well, it is.
That really makes the difference.
That's like Brian used to say to me, he was 70-year-old, and I used to send books down, box books out, read it and send it down to him. 70-year-old, I don't know how many world champions he'd had. But he used to say to me, oh, that book was good. If I pick one thing out of that book, the whole book, it's one thing I didn't know, and I've learned. And I always think when people are like that, can want to learn, they're the top professionals, you know. He wouldn't say how many world champions he's had. He'd just be the same way everybody. And I would be in his house, and you know, Michael Dixon would tell you, and the phone would ring, and his wife said, Brian, you've got to come. That man's on from America again. Oh, I'll phone him back. So this went on, and says, you told him that last time. So I said, Rose, who is it? Oh, it's his friend Roger Mayweather from America wanting to speak to him. Just as if it was nobody. And to me, that's the type of person that I learned off. And I would share things with everybody where that's concerned. No arrogance. That's him on the phone from Roger Mayweather. You know, they've been there and done it, but they're willing to pass their knowledge on to people like us, and that's what I want to do. I want to, you know, I'm quite out. Tink's got a son there. I think he'd be fantastic, but he'd turn out a fantastic boxer. But we just got to work and take our time to get him till he turns professional. And
everybody's got their own path.
Yeah,
some longer, right. Some shorter, some faster. Some, you know, but it's developing, gaining that experience.
Yeah,
when
definitely.
It's one of the key things you see with boxers. Most people who box come from a boxing family, don't they? Normally, it's like.
But you said a dead important thing there, Phil. You know, some fast track it, some take this route, that route. And what our job is as coaches, if we've got to look at your fighter.
Yeah.
You know, is he tall? Is he thin? What style suits him? What path suits him? And you've got to individually tailor each career.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just.
You've got to adapt.
Treat them all like robots.
Adapting to you.
No.
That's be a course, a level of that. But
and there are some people, don't they? They've got this idealistic, right? This is how you box, and whether they're like that or like that, they all get taught the same, and they'll take the same.
My way or the highway.
Yeah, no, you've got to adapt your kids, and the same with the career. You know, some may be late developers, some might. It's all different. You've got to treat it differently.
Yeah,
you know.
I used to wonder about that when Brian used to say, when I used to go down to Mosque and Collyhurst, and I used to see lads at the gym, and I used to say, "Who's he, Brian? He looks all right. Oh, he's been in a few months, but haven't developed his style yet." And I used to wonder about that. When I was still involved with the amateur, I said, "What do you mean develop his style?" And that's the way he worked. Develop the style what suited them. And that's where we're working, which is something I don't think happens a lot nowadays.
No, I was talking with Lewis Ritson before, and one of the key things with Lewis, I've only seen him fight a couple of times, but what he does, he doesn't do too many things. No. At this stage of his career, he does the basics really well. He steps in behind the jab, so he gets purchase on it. After he throws his shots, he's moving to the side straight away.
Yeah, he's taking his angles.
And it's like, though fighters that try to do too many different things before mastering the basics, it's like, well, master the basics so you don't need to think about them.
Well,
and then you're going to actually buy yourself more time to do all these other things that you want to add to them.
Well, that's the correct way to do it, isn't it? It's the correct way to do it. It's like you sit. Now, I like Lewis. I think he's a top kid. Got potential to be a top kid. But you're right. If you haven't mastered level 1, you can't have your kid moving on to level 2. You know, so your levels more, and then you move on to level 2. You make sure you get all that foundation correct. Then you move, and
make sure level 1's still intact.
You build, always go back and revisit every now and then. But you build a career strategically, but you build a boxing strategically. It goes hand in hand, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's reverting back, isn't it? It's reverting back to once again what Brian used to tell me. He used to say he did it with Robert.
He's such a name dropper with Brian, isn't he? I'm only joking.
He used to drop it. Well, nobody probably knew who Brian Hughes was. If you weren't interested.
I'm old enough.
Well, and he used to get the stance, get the defence, and the boxing. The hitting comes last.
Yeah.
That's the last thing. And it's just what you're saying about basics, isn't it? You know, exactly the same. Where, you know, that's where we want to carry on from there.
And I've never boxed.
That's where we found a lot of common ground when we first just like take Keith on with the gym and stuff, and gladly so. But Jobsy's gym, that's the way we work. We'll work defence first, get the feet work going, you know, get these things right.
Working on the floor.
Then move on. If your feet right's not work.
What's the point of sparring if you haven't got the basics in place?
No, that's
foundations, then the brick walk, Phil.
Exactly. But on that perfect ending.
Well, I must go because it's time for my hormone replacement.
Oh, there we go. Do you know how to make a hormone? Don't pay afterwards. Hey! Hey! Keith, Tom quality, bit of an impromptu one, guys.
Fantastic.
Make
We'll have to
past my speeches.